I will hurt you for this. A day will come when you think you're safe and happy, and your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth. And you will know the debt is paid.
Get out.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be a Lannister Season 7 Game of Thrones video because there are a lot of reunions that have been teased that are going to be happening in Season 7. The Lannisters coming together again is going to be one of the other big ones, so just careful for spoilers for everything that's happened so far. So the really interesting thought is that we're going to have a Lannister version of the Battle of the Bastards. Only not so much bastard in the literal context, as they are all the children of Tywin and Joanna Lannister, more in the metaphorical context. But you have Tyrion coming with Daenerys and her forces. They will try to sack King's Landing eventually, and Jaime is still with Cersei, albeit with a growing sense of fear and reluctance. So it sounds like we might get another version of this scene here where Jon Snow and Sansa meet with Ramsay Bolton, like Tyrion meets his brother and sister again on the field of battle. Although I don't know that Cersei would necessarily ride out to a meeting like that. He would probably be meeting with Jaime. So it's not quite the same thing, but Cersei is definitely the Ramsay Bolton in this equation. But even though it seems like Jaime might hate his brother for what happened, like the chaos that was caused in the wake of killing Tywin at the end of Season 4, I don't think that he hates Tyrion the way that he said he does. You get this real sense that he's fighting his connection to Cersei, especially when you see the look on his face when he rides into King's Landing, seeing the great sept blow up, like, oh my god, I have no idea what's going on. Like, he just has absolutely no idea what Cersei's gonna do next. So he's questioning that whole mess. But I can see where they would want to have that meeting between Tyrion and Jaime, where Jaime feels obligated to fight Tyrion, and Tyrion feels obligated to fight Jaime, but neither of them want to do it. So you have this amazing character arc for Jaime's character. Like, he starts out as like the star quarterback who just comes to the realization that life is more than he thinks it is. Like, he's that stereotypical antagonist in an 80s movie. Like, he's one of those Cobra Kai people in Karate Kid, and then Tyrion, Daniel's son, defeats him, and at the end of the movie, he completely questions his beliefs and kind of turns into a good person. But then you have Cersei, who's like, no mercy in our dojo, so you can imagine the direction that Jaime and Cersei are headed. But make no mistake, Jaime always cared for Tyrion. He just treated him in a really shitty way every once in a while. Like, he was always listening to his father Tywin, like his father Tywin would give him orders, especially the incident with Tyrion's first wife. That was really Tywin's doing more than Jaime's, but Jaime was complicit in it. So you have to imagine at that point in his life, Jaime is still caving to the pressures of the group rather than doing what he knows is the right thing to do. I think on the other side of that, Tyrion cared about both of his brother and sister, at least up until recently with Cersei. And even though Tyrion gave that epic speech to Cersei where he talked about joy turning to ash in her mouth, which is especially more telling now that we have dragons in the equation. I know everyone's hoping for a literal interpretation of that. Literal ash from dragonfire in Cersei's mouth. But Cersei, I think, is the one who never cared about Tyrion at any point. She treated him shittily her whole life and never cared about him, whereas Jaime did shitty things to him but still cared about him. So let me know in the comments, do you think that we're going to get a version of the Battle of the Bastards only with the Lannister children? And it'll be like Tyrion versus Jaime meeting in this moment here with, I guess you could say, Daenerys being the little bear just like scowling from behind Tyrion just because Tyrion's the one that's going to be talking to his brother. But if they do that, how do you think that that would go down for Jaime? I think that Cersei's fate was written the moment she blew up the Great Sept. Even if she makes it to Season 8, Lannisters always pay their debts. And I have a feeling she's going to make some Faustian bargain with Euron that's going to bite her in the ass. Maybe literally. But there's still a small chance for Jaime to survive. But I have a feeling it would involve him turning tail and running to Daenerys, whether or not he brings any forces with him. It really depends on how tragic you think Jaime's character is. Like, will he ever get any moment with Brienne? Will he ever be viewed as anything other than the Kingslayer? Because if you think he's a really tragic character, then he would achieve that satisfaction, but it would only happen in a moment that led to his ultimate death. So really, I guess it just depends on how hopeful you think Game of Thrones is, because there are moments of hope. Like, we have the idea that maybe Gendry will reunite with Arya. That's a very hopeful moment, even if they both end up dying by the end of the series. So really, I think the wild card here, when we're talking about Lannister children fighting each other, is Jaime. I think we know pretty much what Cersei's gonna do and what Tyrion's gonna do. Both of them are gonna do whatever it takes to win the battle. But there is a new round of the giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. It's just a $20 Amazon gift card. So what's going to happen next is, I know the Emmys are tonight. I'm sure Game of Thrones is going to win a bunch more Emmys. It's already won more Emmys than almost anything else in history. But they just announced that Margot Robbie is officially going to be developing the Harley Quinn spin-off movie from Suicide Squad. So I'll do a video for that later tonight. So Harley Quinn, badass bitches, coming in a little while. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for that Arya Gendry video.